It had been quite some time since Rebecca saved Gordon from being sent away. Gordon had still been relegated to shunt and pull trucks with Rebecca. The Department of Transport was finishing up their investigation on the accident that happened, and Sodor Day was roughly around the corner. This, however, was putting stress on the engines and Sir Jonathan Hatt too.
I must make sure Sodor Day is running very smoothly,
he said. Meanwhile, Rebecca was at Edward Station, dropping off some supplies for his branch line. Rebecca was still grumbling to herself about what she did.
Everything alright, Rebecca?
Asked Edward.
No, not at all. Can I ask you something, Edward?
She said. Edward smiled.
Of course you can.
Does Gordon hate me? Did I do something wrong to upset him?
No. I mean, I would hope not.
Then, why would he let me have an accident? What did I do to provoke him?
It's because Gordon hates change,
said Henry, who had just arrived with the express.
He doesn't hate you in general, Rebecca. He just hates that things are changing around him.
Though nowadays, I think Gordon is starting to learn that he can't always control what changes around him.
How do you two know?
Henry and Edward looked and saw Gordon pass by, lost in his own thoughts.
Gordon never thinks that hard, unless he knows he needs to.
Listen, Rebecca, you did a nice thing for Gordon, and he really appreciated it. Give him some time, Rebecca. He'll come around eventually.
I hope you're right, Henry.
Later that evening, Sir Jonathan Hatt came to see his engines. He had exciting news.
As most of you know, tomorrow is Sodor Day, which means that lots of people will be celebrating this fantastic island. As such, the Northwestern Railway will be very busy. Thomas, you, Annie, and Clarabelle will be shuttling passengers to and from Aylesbury Station to Tidmouth, while Toby, Percy, and Daisy will handle the shuttle services from the opposite end from Aylesbury to Farnham.
Yes, sir.
The same goes for you, Edward and Duck.
Yes, sir. We won't let you down.
We'll also be having open houses, so everyone will be on display. Please be on your best behavior.
Sir Jonathan Hatt soon turned his attention to Gordon.
Throughout those several days of you pulling goods trains, I've decided to let you pull expresses and coaches again. In fact, I've scheduled you to pull the Sodor Day service excursion. Tomorrow, you'll be pulling the train from the big station to the end of the line.
Gordon was thrilled.
However, it seems like I've overbooked the excursion, so that means you'll have to double hit the train.
Double head? With who?
You'll be double hitting the train with Rebecca.
Gordon and Rebecca were shocked.
Are you sure, sir?
With my best judgment, sir, I don't think this is such a good idea. I've made up my mind and there's nothing you can do to change it. Now get some rest. You'll have a very busy day tomorrow.
Gordon looked at Rebecca, who was not impressed. The next day was Sodor Day, and everyone was excited. Lots of people were celebrating the next day by going to the beaches and the trails and, of course, going to Vicarstown on the newly dubbed Sodor Day excursion. Gordon and Rebecca were at Knapford waiting to leave with the train.
Rebecca, I wanted to...
Save it, Gordon. I don't want to hear it. Let's just get this job over with so we can get to our other jobs. For tomorrow.
And pretty soon, the guard blew her whistle and the cavalcade was off. The journey up to Vicarstown was hard. Gordon tried to communicate with Rebecca, but she wouldn't listen.
The next train arriving is the 14:30 Sodor Day excursion.
When the train arrived at Edward Station, Gordon couldn't help but notice that Rebecca was looking rather pale.
Are you okay?
He asked.
It's your hill. I feel nervous to go over it after my accident.
Gordon couldn't help but feel sorry for her.
I'm sorry I caused you to have an accident, Rebecca. I couldn't accept the changes that were happening around me, but throughout the entire 3 weeks of working with you have the bravery to overcome anything, including my hill.
Rebecca was surprised. She didn't expect to get praise from Gordon. It made her feel more confident than she felt. And, with a blast of her whistle, she and Gordon pulled the Sodor Day excursion all the way to Vickerstown. They rumbled over Gordon's Hill and rocketed past Crovan's Gate. Trees and houses were a blur to the two engines. Pretty soon, they arrived at Vickerstown right on time,
That was fun. Thank you so much for an awesome time, Gordon.
said Rebecca. The ceremony began. The mayor gave a wonderful speech and fireworks lit up the night sky. Gordon looked at Rebecca and was going to say something when...
I forgive you, Gordon.
You do?
I get it. Change isn't easy, but you've overcome it today. And I really appreciate the words of motivation you gave me.
You know who Henry and James are, right? How would you like to become the fourth member of our little tender engine alliance?
Rebecca was surprised.
Really? Why, of course?
You've done wonders for us on the main line with the Express. We think you'll be a perfect fit.
Speaking of Express, excuse me, sir. I've been doing some thinking, and I think I'm ready to retire from the Wild Nor'Wester. And on one condition, that Rebecca and another engine take my place.
James, Henry, and the Fat Controller were surprised.
And what engine did you ever have in mind, Gordon?
Them, sir.
Everyone turned to see Gordon's replacement and were amazed. But that's another story for another day.